Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the Self-Worth Renaissance podcast. This is your personal guide to rediscovering and reclaiming your power as a woman, navigating the chaos, let's be real, utter chaos, and beauty, sometimes, of your 20s and 30s. It's hosted by me, Kirsten Van Wingerden. I am a licensed mental health therapist in Washington State, and this podcast will dive deep into the unfiltered realities of self-discovery, self-love, and even self-respect in a world that tells us often that we're just not enough. From healing past wounds to setting unapologetic boundaries, the Self-Worth Renaissance is here to help you rewrite the narrative of your life. Through candid conversations, expert insights, and heartfelt advice, which I do love a bit of that, we'll go ahead and explore what it means to truly value yourself and how to step into your worth without hesitation. This is your time to rise, rebuild, and reclaim. Welcome to the Renaissance of you. So you might be wondering why I chose the name Self-Worth Renaissance, and I'm just going to level with you. ChatGPT is incredible and came up with the name. And then I was like Googling around and I was like, oh, okay, no one else has taken it, so I guess it's mine. So that's how we got here, right? I was talking to a girlfriend and she was like, "Oh, I use ChatGPT for everything," and I went, "No, but isn't that like cheating?" And she was like, "No, it's just like working smarter, not harder." And it helped me realize that wow, like I could literally use ChatGPT for anything. And I originally had a lot of shame about it, and now I'm kind of embracing it because I get to put more content out there. I get to create things that really free up my time, right? I am a full-time mental health clinician. I see clients every week, right? I only have so much capacity, and I know that not everyone can afford therapy, right? Not everyone can show up or has the time every week to show up. So I wanted to create this podcast as a way to kind of just plant little seeds or give little ideas of ways to really begin to value yourself if maybe therapy isn't an option for you yet. And I also just, of course, want to have a disclaimer that this podcast does not take place of therapy. Please go to therapy if you need therapy. This is not the place, girlfriend, where you're going to find what you're looking for. If there is some deep stuff you're going through, this is not it. But if you want to have thought-provoking questions, if you really want to kind of challenge societal norms, embrace your authenticity, and rediscover your self-value, then this might be the podcast for you. I always say self-worth isn't about perfection or conformity, but it's about reclaiming your inner strength. And it's a lot like how the Renaissance era celebrated individuality, creativity, and human potential. So, I'm going to invite you to come alongside me in the rebirth of confidence, growth, and empowerment, and maybe come along with me on my ride to figure out what can I not use ChatGPT for? Where is the boundary? Where is the line? Yeah. And talking about boundaries, we'll probably talk about boundaries on this podcast. So, yeah. You're also learning I ramble a lot, so welcome to my brain. So, some of the content that you might come across on this podcast, in addition to setting boundaries and me learning what the hell ChatGPT is that we'll probably talk about dating, we'll talk about divorce, we'll talk about relationships, we'll talk about how do you even know who the heck you are, who am I in this world, we'll talk about friendships, we're going to talk about what community actually means, We'll probably talk a bit about trauma because that is my therapeutic focus when I do my work individually with people. We'll talk about like hot button topics in culture. And I'll also have some guests on the show, some really lovely people that have incredible insight into how do we build this thing called self-worth? How do we even find confidence? What does that mean? So yeah, it's kind of like a compilation, a kind of miscellaneous combo of a bunch of things. Very clear as mud, but you are welcome to come alongside me in that journey and maybe along the way really like rediscover your voice and who you are. And so because this is just a first episode of a podcast, we're going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm going to give you a little taste of what each podcast might involve. Some days it might be a little unhinged, other days it might be really grounding, really safe, really comfortable. But today I'm just going to close this off with a lovely little mantra to consider, right? And moving forward with your life. The mantra today is, in the spaces where I don't feel like I'm enough, to remind myself that I am who I am. That's not going to change. It will change organically in ways and spaces that feel safe for me. But if I feel like I need to change myself to fit an environment, that environment isn't for me. If this environment tells me that I'm too much, that I'm not enough, then that's shame speaking. That's not reality. And so I can lean in, I can tune in, I can rest assured knowing that I am enough. I belong. I can take up space, and I'm right here, right now. And I am present.